Hey, grace and peace, everybody. Happy afternoon. Happy Tuesday to you all. Hopefully you all had a great day. Yesterday, I do apologize that I said I wasn't going to be able to live stream. I had some things going on with Chief Executive Second Born School, and we just had a lot of dad duties going on up in here. But I heard that your girl came out and she shook the world. She changed the whole landscape of the investigation. No, she didn't. Anyway, that video was completely ignorant. Anyway, I'm going to talk about that as well. But I want to say thank you all so much for tapping in. I know this is a midday shenanigans. I asked y'all, did y'all want a double header? Some people say yes. Some people say just wait till later on today. I'm just going to talk about this because I want to talk about the planes. I want to talk about the planes. And somebody asked me, why do you think she's going so hard in the paint about these planes? And I have a theory I want to put out there to you. Then we're going to watch a content creator who just completely crushed it. And so I think we're going to let him really tease it out. But let's think about it like this. Most of you all know that I like comic books. I'm a comic book fan, or used to be rather. And my favorite comic book brand, if you will, was Marvel. And of course, I was a DC stan because I'm definitely Team Batman. One of the things that really has discouraged, reduce the comic book purchasing over here at Whitaker Park is the fact that there are no stakes. Nothing matters anymore. It doesn't matter if a character dies. It doesn't matter if a character is wounded or taken off the field. It doesn't matter if they get married. It doesn't matter if they have kids. It doesn't matter because they're going to somehow or another whisk it away through the Jedi mind trick and bring it back to zero. It doesn't matter. So the stakes, if you will, of the story really don't matter anymore because everybody knows Peter Parker is going to come back. Everybody knows Steve Rogers is going to make it back. Batman, he died. Don't worry about it. Just give it a few episodes and he'll be back. No matter what, they're going to come up with some way to bring it back and make themselves right, if you will. When you were looking at Candace, I think what we're seeing is in 4K, the same thing we see in DC and Marvel, where no matter how she gets herself into a pickle, she's going to find a way to make it unpickled. She's going to unpickle that pickle somehow. And this, I think the story about the planes really, truly is going to be looked at by science. It's going to be studied in college courses about how to get yourself out of a pickle. You put yourself in a trick bag, how to get out of it in 4K. This story is ridiculous, man. The fact that she won't just say, okay, the Egyptian planes things was silly. Let me get that out of the way. Because the funny thing is, whenever somebody calls her out about it, she's going to come back and try to correct it. So I'm waiting for maybe everybody needs to start asking her what happened with those valves, or ask her what about the communist bees, or whatever about the 11 or 12 Israeli phones that were supposedly on campus at the same time. Maybe somebody needs to really start making noise about that and see if she responds to that, because somehow or another, she's really in her feelings about these planes. And let's talk about that for a second, because we're going to bring in Artie Trolls. Man, he's just been doing a great job. Shout out to him. I'm going to leave the link down in the description of this video as well. How inefficient would it be, or is it rather, to send a plane, a private jet, to follow behind somebody, to track them? When all of their travel is already available online, you know where they're going to be. Why send a jet to follow behind them and not interact with them? Like, if you know they're going to be in Chicago, why don't you have operatives in Chicago follow them? But even what's the following about? Like, follow them for what? Like, for what? You didn't do anything to them. You just following behind them. The jet is following behind. And I think the Candies, by the way, shout out to the Candies in the best live chat on the internet. Thank you so much, Candies, for getting on up here. They already got their seat in the front of the church. I think the Candies need to start asking that question, like, what's the purpose of this? Because none of this actually matters. As soon as she gets in a trick bag about the planes, she's going to come up with another one. And as soon as she gets caught in that one, she's going to come up with another one. She's going to keep trying to wiggle her way out until she completely just loses control. I think she's lost the plot already. I really do. Let's bring Artie in here. Artie did a great job, man. Let's get that brother his flowers. Let's go. Artie, what you got to say, brother? Artie, what you got to say today, man? Let's go.
Anyway, let's talk about her superpowers.
Sense. Basic survival skills. It requires gut instinct. And I had to learn at a very young age to read people. I think that's my superpower, actually. Just being able to look at someone and sense danger or sense deceit. I can just look at Rob McCoy, and for me, it's a no. It's obviously a no. Same thing by the
Just crazy. She's just, don't break an arm, Candace. You're just so amazing. Every way,
So
shape, and form. You're just
amazing.
amazing. You just know things.
research and was able to discern that the person the planes were actually tracking for years was Erica.
For years. You're flying a jet for years. So years is plural, so let's just say 2 years. 24 months, you're flying a jet around the United States tracking Erica Kirk. Candace, y'all don't ask this question? Am I just a bad guy for asking the question? Why are they tracking her? They already know where she is. You can't just say, hey, we're going to get in the plane. Remember those old school chase movies where the guy jumps in the cab and says, hey, follow that silver car. Hey, follow that red truck. And they just follow him. Like, you can't just jump in a plane and be like, hey, follow. Hey, follow that other plane. You can't do that. You have to know where you're going to. So you just have pilots sitting on ready to go at any moment. This is ridiculous.
Not Charlie, but Erica
Oh.
was the one being tracked by these planes. And
So now she's back on the Egyptian plane, okay?
For sure.
So she's misrepresenting what everybody's saying about Erica. First things first, I want to talk about that. So she says earlier that she's like, I've never once, they're lying about me of accusing Erica and all this stuff. But the problem is she's come out and said the succession was wrong. It would have been handled by lawyers.
Facts.
The diaries that
Let me also point out, does Candace know that lawyers did not handle the secession? Does she know that? How does she know what was going on behind the scenes? Because she said also that Charlie didn't have a will. Like, how do you know he doesn't have a will? How do you know that? Crazy work.
Charlie wrote apparently that TPUSA has don't exist, even though even though Erica Kirk succeeded exactly the way the diary said she should and took the mantle, as if she wouldn't know any of this stuff. You know what I mean? As if Charlie wouldn't have contradicted it if it didn't exist, right? He would have told his wife, hey, this is the way it's going to happen. This is the way I would want it to happen in case something happens to me.
Mm-hmm.
But Erica's just willingly doing the bidding of TPUSA instead. That's why we say you're accusing Erica, because your theory can't exist, Candace, without Erica being involved in it. She's the helm. She's the leader of TPUSA. She's the CEO. She stepped into the role exactly the way the diary said that she had to step into the role, the ones you said didn't exist. Do you not understand that in order for this to be going forward, Candace, she either has to be held hostage by TPUSA and doing their bidding against her will, or she's doing it willingly, Candace.
Right.
The only other way that Erica couldn't be involved is if TPUSA is innocent. That's the only possible way. But you know it's so unpopular to go against Erica Kirk that you wouldn't dare do it because you know you would lose your audience. But your theory, the only way it can work is if Erica Kirk is indeed involved. That's the only...
I disagree here, Artie. I don't think her audience cares. I think there's an assumption, because I've noticed this also. A lot of the candies are not actually Christian. A lot of Candace's supporters are not Christian at all. A lot of Candace's supporters don't care about TPUSA. They don't care about what TPUSA actually did and actually supported and projected. They only care about what Candace is saying about TPUSA. They don't actually care. So I don't think that they care. Oh, a grieving widow. Oh, she's on the menu tonight. I don't think that they care like that. So if Candace comes out, which I do believe she's going to do this, following the trajectory that we are seeing, she's going to end up just saying it outright. And then we'll know. But I don't think that she cares. I really don't think that there's any care in the world. What do y'all think? Comment down below. Let me know what you think.
possible way.
Indeed, it turns out that she was correct. She discovered
yes.
that
Now, apparently, these Egyptian planes weren't actually following Charlie at all. They were following Erica. Yeah, make that one make sense. I think these are probably planes that, I don't know why they're in the same area. I can't pretend to know why, other than they probably are some sort of staff, but they have been around the entire time. I don't know what reasoning they could possibly have. But here's the thing, though, okay? Whether they're planes that they just used all the time around TPUSA or not, it doesn't make much sense for them to be Egyptian planes that would go and later on take Charlie out. They wouldn't have to get a new location because they're traveling with Charlie all the time, apparently, right? They could have just done it at any campus. Why would they need to set one up? Doesn't make much sense. Or those planes could have actually been used by that sect of the government, the FBI, that's helping the underground Trantifa people. And maybe it was the underground Trantifa people by themselves, or, you know, the deep state with them. And they could have, I don't know, still used Tyler Robinson to do their job. It's not the craziest thing in the world. They could have had people training him, people going around, and who knows what happened. They could have had more people that they dropped off to help Tyler Robinson out.
That's very possible.
But it still could have been the Trantifa thing. It might not be Israel. Because why would Israel use Egyptian planes when they already have a patsy of the left? It doesn't make sense. They're going to have two patsies? Oh, well, it was really secretly Egypt that broke into the country and the government didn't stop it? Are you kidding me? The government could have literally just used whoever they needed. They didn't need Egyptian planes. Why would they be trying to throw people off the trail with this? It doesn't make sense, Candace.
Between 2022 and September of 2025, both of those aircrafts, SU-BTT, the yellow plane, and SU-BND, the blue plane, showed 68 overlaps with Erica's documented locations, okay? 68 overlaps.
I know he's about to say it, but 68 overlaps. That means the plane could have been there 10 days before, 10 days after, at the same time, left before, or anything of that nature. Does she make room? Does she make room for any of the ideas that maybe that's the route that plane travels? I mean, it's a private jet. If you own a private jet, you're not going to want it to be sitting in the hangar. It needs to be out moving. I mean, that's just the reality. This is ridiculous. Art, what you got to say, brother?
Why only for Erica? Why not for Charlie?
Why not?
Why would they bother doing that, Candace? Can you explain that one?
Since been able to add now 73 times that this overlapped, okay?
And just to say it as if that's such a slam dunk. I mean, think about some of the coincidental things that you notice all the time. Whether or not you go to the particular gas station and you see a delivery truck every other Tuesday at the same time. Or your local grocery store. Or, I mean, there's so many coincidences that really truly have nothing to do with conspiracy. Or you can try to read it into it, sure. I mean, you could all the time. But why would you do this? This is such a wild thing. And please remember, Candace Owens cares about Charlie Kirk's legacy, which is TPUSA. Remember that. That's what I need you to remember. Okay.
29 of those instances also happened to include Charlie. Charlie was also present. And that's what I was stumbling upon when I was looking into this. I was like, why is this plane where Charlie is? The flights were majority clustered within 5 states: Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, Delaware, and Utah. And it's a pattern that she believes is statistically not random.
It might not be random. Again, could be the underground Trantifa people planning on taking Charlie out. Could be the FBI as well, but there could be a split in the FBI, a small section of, you know, this deep state that is still loyal to the Democrats, to the extreme left, and even, you know, I mean, I guess not even just the left, but in general, like, you know, the Chuck Schumers, the, whoever the crap is all on the right. I can't remember any of their names right now off the top of my head. I had to look them all up yesterday. But anyway, that blonde guy that looks like Skeletor, whatever the crap his name is, Republicans, you know, neocons. They could all be working together and having this small thing of government underneath Trump that is secretive, that is against Trump, trying to take out his people that helped Trump win. You just don't know. It might have nothing to do with TPUSA at all. And that's the problem, Candace. You keep trying to distract us from that. You're like, well, it can't be the official narrative at all. And our government might be trying really hard to find the people within our government causing these issues, and you're complicating things. We just don't know. We really should be waiting for the trial, Candace. That would be the smarter thing to do. Go ahead and ask all the questions you want, but stop with the finger pointing, because you don't know who was involved.
I am telling you this information has been completely verified. I am showing you this on a spreadsheet. Now, these are all the instances.
I want to see all the instances where any other planes were in this area as well. Because are there any other planes that weren't in Utah at this point, but maybe they were in Nebraska? They weren't in Nebraska, but maybe they were in Connecticut or somewhere else, and maybe they're flying backwards route or something of that nature. I guarantee you, if we looked and took these 5 states that she says that they were clustered in and just worked our way around, we'd probably find maybe 10 other planes that were doing the exact same thing in different forms and shapes. So why are you making this a thing? This is what I'm talking about. When she gets pigeonholed and she was wrong and she should have said, y'all, I was wrong. I was trying to make something out of this plain thing and I was wrong. But this is why Joe Pag says that she's not a journalist. Remember, she's putting out all of her information before she's done any research. But back to this, instead of just saying, you know what, y'all, I was wrong. My bad. I was really trying to do something. I was teamed the most and I really messed up. Nope. She's just going to keep going. Like, no. Now I'm a double, triple, quadruple down. Now it wasn't just after Charlie. They were after Erica. Why are they after Erica? Why? Y'all tell me in the chat that she's not going to accuse Erica of some wrongdoing. Let me know for real. Because y'all know she is.
In which this plane...
Let's get to actually what this part was, because this was really funny to me.
Turned back on. The transponder was turned back on just 17 minutes after Charlie was shot at 12:40 p.m. and 53 seconds, and it stayed on until 1:29 p.m. and 40 seconds. So what was the blue plane doing sitting on the tarmac?
It was sitting on the tarmac with the transponder on, Candace. That's what it was doing. Okay? Did it ever take off and just fly right after? You don't really mention that, do you?
We can only imagine what it was doing, okay?
I could only imagine.
Right.
He's probably sitting there just spinning in a circle. I don't know, doing donuts. Who knows what he was doing? It was sitting there.
We can run a couple of options here. It's possible that they were just running a maintenance check. Duncan Aviation does offer maintenance repairs.
Happens often. Happens a lot. Actually, Candace. It's very, very common. Guess what I used to do right after my Google job? I ended up transferring over to American Airlines. Very good place, terrible for security. That was a terrible job. And I got to be on the tarmac with the aircraft often. In fact, I could tell you this. So it's right next to Tinker Air Force Base in Tulsa. And I would play chicken, essentially, with the F-16s. There were 4 of them. 3 of them most of the time, but there was a 4th one every now and then. And I had to stop at a stop sign and wait. They would wait back, and they would wait for me to try and cross because I had to go over to this Hangar 88 area that was off on the other side, way off. It was the only hangar on the other side that was American Airlines. They had like 20 of them on one side, and then a bunch of other hangars on the other side. But we had one of them, and I had to go all the way over there. And these guys, if you cut them off, quote unquote, for any reason ever, you'd get in a lot of trouble and fired. These punks, these young kids that were flying these freaking aircraft, would always try to goat me into cutting them off. So I'd just put the car in park and I'd sit there at the stop sign and I'd play on my phone. I'm like, I could sit here all day. You guys can't. I know you can't because you got to get those aircraft in whenever you're told to get them in. So I would just sit there and wait, and they would sit there and wait on me for a bit, and then they'd all 4 just take off in front of me and then go out there. Then I could pass and go out around the tarmac. It was an absolute ordeal, though. So many guards would waste time getting into arguments with these guys because, these guys were in the military. Right. They knew what they were doing. They were jerks. So they would get into arguments and stuff and be flipping each other off and stuff. And I'd be like, just sit there. They have to go. I don't. I could take my time. So it was really just a dumb thing to have happen. Fun fact, though. But anyway, I was around that a lot for 2 months. That's as long as I was out there for. And the amount of aircraft that they would take out of the hangar, spin it around, start everything up, put it back in there multiple times for just routine maintenance was very common.
It's therefore possible that it just chose to run some maintenance checks at an unfortunate time. Okay. Another possibility.
But that is a very serious, like, why do you assume that that is not it? I mean, for crying out loud, if you live in the North in America during the winter, how many times have you gone outside and started up your car to make sure it's warm, make sure it stays warm, keep that battery charging because you know it's going to be super cold in the evening, in the next morning, and your Bluetooth kicks on and you're just playing something, listen to the radio, look up and like, oh man, it's been 15 minutes. I've been sitting in the car, warming up the car for 15 minutes. Like, stuff happens like that. Why is this abnormal to her? This is craziness.
Is that a military jet, particularly one from a foreign country, would likely be equipped with encrypted satellite-based communications capabilities. If you wanted to make an untraceable phone call, as an example,
So she essentially says this is what it was done, is they made an untraceable phone call through it by doing that, and she has just absolutely no proof.
No proof at all.
First of all, it'd be untraceable, so she can make this claim without any consequence, and it's just dumb. You have no idea.
Not only can she make no claims without it, a claim without there being any consequences, nobody can verify it. This is a regular occurrence of Candace. She says something and then says, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I could say right now that everybody watching the best live chat on the internet is wearing red Adidas right now. Prove me wrong. And if you don't prove me wrong, then I'm right. That's crazy work. And if you prove me wrong, why are you so contentious? I must have been onto something. Maybe you wore red Adidas yesterday. Maybe you have red Adidas in your closet. You have red Adidas in your gym bag. I must be right because that's why you're debunking me. And if you don't debunk, if you do say you wore them, then I'm right. This is insanity.
Idea, Candace. And why would they make a phone call? Why would they even need to at that point? They knew what the mission was. You know, why would they have to make a phone call at all? It just doesn't make much sense. They could go back in person and tell the people, hey, the mission was complete. There you go. I mean, seriously, it doesn't make any sense at all.
They don't have to.
You're just bringing crap up to bring crap up. Now, anyway, so I will give her this. I will absolutely give her this right here. The license plates.
In Provo,
this is interesting.
Sourced rental cars for these quote-unquote Egyptians when they landed a couple of days before this operation. And I didn't just learn that. I actually have the license plates number for 4 of the vehicles that they rented, okay?
So
honestly,
we'll play the
guys, it brings me great pleasure to deliver this information because now, surely, Tulsi's office can get involved because... You know, those darn Egyptians are at it again. Those darn Egyptians. Here are the 4 license plates of the cars that were rented. The first car rented was a silver 2025 Toyota RAV4. The Utah license plate number is T09.
Okay, we got that. T09
ZS. The third car was a white S.
Second car.
The second car was a white 2025 Toyota Camry, Arizona license.
CWN 9872 license, Arizona license plate. Third car, Toyota RAV T912 KM, and then the fourth one was a Toyota 4Runner, I believe is what it's called, Z92 3DA. Okay, so these are interesting to me because this is I don't know. It's just one of those things that. If they were there at the school, that would be interesting to know who it belonged to. So maybe we could have that info. And I bet that probably debunks Candace. I bet we don't find them there, though. I don't know. We'll find out what happens. I'm open-minded on this. Now, she does not...
But this is what I mean by this. When we say that Candace will dox you, this is what we're talking about. I'm sorry. I disagree with Artie here. There's no reason to bring in these particular vehicles. There's none whatsoever. None whatsoever. And look at what she did on Twitter. I mean, this is crazy. This is madness, y'all. License plates for our Egyptians on the day of the assassination are as follows. Do you know that there are Egyptians on the plane, for crying out loud? Just because, I mean, it's a private jet. And she puts all of this information out there. And listen to this. Look at this. Thank you for your attention to this matter. What does that mean? What is the attention that she wants to happen? What does she actually want to happen? What does the attention to this matter mean? I'm sorry. This is insane. And I really hope that somebody is able to wrangle this in. Because, I mean, she's going to put somebody in danger. Because that car is now out there. Some grandma, somebody's driving to school to see their kids. Pick their kids up for Thanksgiving break or whatever, visit family over Christmas. And these cars are going to be somewhere all around the country. And somebody's going to see this car and do something because of Candace. That's wild.
Not acknowledge Discord leaked messages at all again, and she does not, and she completely ignores Sean Ryan and his interview with Charlie Kirk's head of security. She completely ignores that. I'll give her a chance for tomorrow to maybe bring it up, but she just completely ignores it. But she does bring up a FOIA. She brings up that
I don't think she's going to.
She FOIA'd these license plates, but she does not FOIA Charlie Kirk's death certificate or his autopsy.
Or the school.
Well, isn't that interesting? Isn't that absolutely interesting, guys?
We don't know that
Very
this is
strange.
actually, we don't know that these license plates are real. Really. We have no reason to believe. Why do you believe that these license plates are real? Tell me what she has done that would make you believe that these license plates are for real. What? I'll wait. There's not one thing that she's done or has shown for you to be like, yes, I believe that these license plates are for real and it's such of that nature. She FOIA'd it. For what? How do you FOIA a doggone... No, you might have to even ask that. Like, what are you FOIAing? Who are you FOIAing this from? I don't know. Can we make FOIA a verb? FOIAing. Who are you getting this information from? Like, that makes no sense. I don't even believe that these are real. I don't believe these are real. There's no reason for me to believe that these license plates are real. They could be just as made up as today is Tuesday. In the best live chat, let me know. Do you agree? Do you think that these are real? Let me know. Let me bring this back in. Let's see. Shout out to Artie.
Now, the way I feel, she, ends up implicating Erica Kirk again here because they're all following her, not Charlie. So that's just a little weird. Why her? So it makes it feel like she's kind of hinting towards Erica yet again being involved because why would they pick her instead of where the man is that they're targeting? Right? Doesn't make much sense. Now, she does also bring up one more decent point. TPUSA did not post their tax documents. Apparently they were late or something, that they didn't file for them or they did something up, and they may be embezzling money. Okay. Well, maybe Rob McCoy's just a POS who embezzles money. Doesn't mean that they ended Charlie, so you're going to have to connect those two. It's a motive, I'll give you that, but it's not proof. Anyway, guys, that's all I have to blame. Or all I have to blame.
Blame's
all
crazy.
I was reading blame right here on this part of the thing here. I have terrible handwriting. Anyway, so
shout out to Artie Trolls, great content creator. He's doing an excellent job. I appreciate him taking the time. We will have our watch party today. We will absolutely tap in. I'm probably going to start a little bit early because I have some other videos I want to look at as well. So we'll do those and then jump in whenever Candace gets started. I do have our book club tonight, our book reading tonight at 7, going through Pilgrim's Progress. It's going to be a good day though. But I really wanted to talk about just the inefficiency of using jets to follow behind somebody. For what? Like, that makes no sense. If you just stop and think, okay, fine. What would be the purpose of using a jet to follow behind somebody? What would be the purpose of using a jet and then leaving 6 hours before? Because you do realize that Candace is now doubling back on the fact or the idea that whoever was on the Egyptian jets was still on the campus when Charlie was deleted, right? You do realize that. She's still mixing up her timeline. For what, though? Like, for what? What's your purpose in this? Because you've already been proven wrong. You've already been proven false. And you just keep doubling and tripling down. Because, again, like I gave in the opening, none of this matters. She's going to come back to what she wants to do. It doesn't matter. She's going to find a way. The wormhole is going to open up. The multiverse is going to be expanded. There's going to be a doppelganger come in, and they're going to change something. And that's how it happened. But let me know what y'all think. I really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for being a part of the best live chat on the internet and the most electrifying comment section. I really do appreciate it. I thank y'all so much for not only hitting the like button, if I earned it, drop a green heart on the way out the door. Let me know that you like what I'm doing over here. Let me know that you find some good value in it, all that kind of good stuff like that. Today, I will be doing our watch party at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got some fun videos I want to go over. I want to go over our Substack list that you all sent me. And again, I just want to say thanks. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for hitting the like button. Help me hit my 100,000 likes this month And we're on our way. So we're going to hit it. I know we are, and I really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Help your boy out. I really appreciate it, everybody. Until next time, grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.